Welcome to Markets Now. I'm Michelle Rook along with Jeff Hoogendoorn with Professional Ag Marketing. We're mixed now in both grain and livestock futures trade. And Jeff, let's talk a little bit about outside markets have started to stabilize a little bit here after the recent sell-off due to some of these macroeconomic concerns with the banking crisis. But yeah, we still have a little bit of nervousness in parts of the grain complex, it looks like.
Yeah, I think, the outside markets for today, I'm pretty pleased with them. You had the European Central Bank kind of hold its course and increase the rates over there. So I think that's kind of got everybody settled down a little bit. There's no new news on another name coming out as far as a bank with some issues, as we've seen, the other days this week so far. So you look at some of these outside markets, stock markets not performing too badly today. A lot of the treasuries and stuff like that, are steady to a little bit better today. So I'm kind of feeling a little bit better. Of course, you can always drop the other shoe, and but on the outside markets, doesn't seem like it's a disastrous day by any stretch so far.
Yeah, so hopefully we can hold things together. I know we've seen a little liquidation yet today in soybeans and maybe even the wheat market, but corn market has come back here, and some of that is due to China business. Third day in a row that we've seen that. Do you think with the way the bull spreads are working, we might see some more business tomorrow? And will that put a little floor in this market continuing?
Well, I sure think it's important, Michelle. I feel like I'm the only one as far as the market doesn't seem to respect it too much. But I kind of thought the first time that we came out with a sale to China here this week, I thought that was kind of a big deal. Now we followed it up with two more. Overall bushels are even starting to add up to some pretty significant levels. If you start doing 60 to 70 million bushels, that even starts to make some difference
We're a little
in
over
the overall picture.
75 to your point.
Right. And then not to mention the signal of what it might mean down the road, right? I mean, if it's cheap enough for China to buy, and if they're worried enough out of the Argentina crop in South America, I wouldn't know. I would think there'd be some others sitting around looking to maybe own some U.S. corn at these prices too. So I think it's a big deal. The market's kind of ignoring it, claiming that it was kind of in the market, rumored, coming into this week. I'm not buying it. I think the corn market's performing pretty well, and in face of everything that's going on this week, right? And I think the reason for it is these purchases that we're seeing. So we crossed the outside markets off the list of things to worry about. Not suggesting that's going to happen,
Yeah.
but it is for today. I think there's a little strength to this corn.
Yeah. Soybeans, like we said, we've seen some liquidation now because of the outside markets and whatnot, and the nervousness and the funds being long. So, do you think we have a lot more downside risk in the beans?
I wouldn't think so. And in full disclaimer, I've I'm a little bit bullish, big picture on the soybeans. So full disclaimer there, but um, I think we got to be getting cheap enough. Now there's more of a position left to exit on the soybean side of things, especially on that
Sure.
soybean meal. That could be the other shoe on the bean complex, is if that soybean meal wants to give up, which I sure think it should at some point. There's a lot of money stuck into that market yet. They've liquidated some of it, but it seems like that's the last commodity they want to use as a punching bag, and it's very well could happen at some point yet. That would put pressure on the beans, probably a little more so than what I think they should.
Cattle market is trying to come back here, Jeff, after a lower start. And I don't know that we necessarily have all the banking concerns and nervousness worked in, but have we found a place on the charts where we found support, or are we squaring ahead of the cattle on feed report coming up tomorrow because we're expecting that to be fairly bullish?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the chart piece of it. I was looking at that yesterday and this morning, so I'm kind of forgot about it for a bit here, but we did bounce really solidly off kind of a trend line if you're pulling across the lows on the April cattle chart, for an example. So that's probably certainly got something to do with today's market feeling a little bit better about itself. I would also say just the fact that um, we bought some cash cattle yesterday. We bought them $1 lower. It's not too bad considering the the disaster that was going on in the futures market across the board, right? And then this morning they come out and there's still got some interested parties at yesterday's money. So I think that's really encouraging. We've talked about it on here, before. The fundamentals are in pretty good shape and nothing's changed there. And I think, if the feedlots didn't empty their pockets yesterday, and Packers want to come back for some more today, I think that's a very good sign as far as cash goes. And that's got to win out on this April board here pretty soon. It can maybe mess around for another week or two doing what it wants to do, but then it's going to have to respect cash trade real quick like here.
Right. And like we said, cattle on feed expected to be a little bit bullish again tomorrow. So maybe that's part of the story. Why can't hogs find a bottom here or catch?
Oh man, this is why friends don't let friends trade hogs, Michelle.
Trade hogs, right?
It's a tough market. We held this pretty big premium. These futures, like June, for an example, we're holding this pretty big premium to where the current index is going into this week, and pretty disappointing again. Another week of just kind of sideways fundamentals, right? And that is not good enough when you're holding a premium that's $4 to $5 greater than normal. We were sure hoping maybe that was holding that premium for good reason, but you need to feed this market some good news at some point. We've been unable to do that. So in my mind, they're simply shrinking that premium to something what would be more normal. Now, normal should come in here, like I'm watching that June pretty hard today, should come in here 95 to 96 bucks.
Okay.
Should be kind of a normal appreciation. So I'm losing confidence, but I'm going to stick to my guns a little bit and say maybe this is cheap enough here.
All right, let's hope so. Thanks so much for joining us, Jeff Hoogendoorn with Professional Ag Marketing, and that is Markets Now.